Okay, so I, against my better judgment, am doing another installment in my series MAGA Deprogrammed, where this time I'm going to refute a very common tactic that people have when talking about Donald Trump's supposed business acumen. I posted a thing, long story short, I posted a meme earlier on my channel talking about that talked about how Donald Trump has never made any actual money. He has never been a success in business, and he didn't actually start making any real money until The Apprentice. And I got these two comments. The first one said, "The problems are you don't get to know his stories from the inside perspectives. We are what we, the outsider, can see aren't the full picture." Uh, and then another person followed up and said, "I can't say that Trump's a bad businessman because no one gets that filthy rich by being a floundering fool, even if they inherit the business. And I'm sure there's nuances to his failures. You'd be hard pressed to find a Fortune 500 company that didn't have peaks and valleys. Now, I can't say that business skills translate well into political leadership, but I'd prefer to be cautiously optimistic because, like it or not, he will be president for the next 4 years. So you have to hope that his regime is successful." No, you don't. Being delusional doesn't help anybody. There's nothing cautiously optimistic about Donald Trump. Donald Trump's businesses were an abject, ridiculous, abject failure before he became president the first time, and it's not gotten better in the last 4 years. Donald Trump is not and has never been a successful real estate mogul. He does not actually own that many buildings. He owns a small handful of buildings, none of which, including Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago, have ever put him back in the black. His daddy invested a great deal of money in, or more appropriately, I should say, Donald Trump inherited or got a lot of money from his dad, which he invested in cosplaying as a successful real estate mogul. The only things that have ever made Donald Trump any amount of money are the things that, to us, the public, have appeared to be side hustles on what was supposed to be a successful real estate empire. Things like the book The Art of the Deal by Tony Schwartz, ghostwritten by Tony Schwartz, which Donald Trump presented as having written himself, or at first having written in collaboration with Tony Schwartz. Now, Tony Schwartz has since then gone on the record multiple times saying that everything in The Art of the Deal was a complete abject fiction that he concocted to make Donald Trump look like a successful businessman, and that he expresses deep long-term regret for the effect and influence that book had. Other things, the most successful thing Donald Trump has ever done was appear as the host of The Apprentice, a game show reality show on MTV, on NBC. And one of the producers from The Apprentice has gone on the record saying that the only reason they hired Donald Trump for The Apprentice is because he was the only CEO, quote unquote, who actually had the time and the interest to participate in it. Actual businessmen were too busy and not interested in hiring the winners of reality TV shows to run their business ventures. Now, anyway, the only thing that Donald Trump has done to make himself to make himself have the semblance of a business empire through the years is to license out the Trump brand name. The only thing he could be described as having done successfully is successfully hoodwink the world into having the appearance of a successful businessman. And then he has put that branding deal on everything from Trump Steaks to Trump Vodka to Trump University to Trump the board game and a lot of other things, hyping up the idea of the Trump brand as synonymous with luxury and high-end success. All of these ventures have failed spectacularly, and that never mattered to Donald Trump because they were never his ventures to begin with. It was other companies coming and purchasing the right to use the name in an attempt to cash in on what was supposedly the tremendous brand recognition of the Trump empire. See, here's the thing, though, to Kalpafana 6419 and Dark Devereaux. Here's the thing, guys. What all you did there was make excuses. That's all you did. You made excuses. But the one thing you cannot point to is the thing that has actually made Donald Trump his money, because it's not there. The actual successful business venture is what I should say. What has Trump actually been successful at? It's not there, and it never has been. Most of the buildings, one of the reasons Donald Trump keeps getting sued is because most of the buildings that have his name on them are not Trump buildings. They are Trump branded buildings. People moved into buildings that they thought, subpar buildings that they thought were Trump brand buildings, only to find in the fine print of their contracts when they tried to sue that these were only Trump licensed buildings, thus allowing Trump to profit from the branding deal while wriggling out of any and all responsibility. That is Donald Trump. That is the reality of Donald Trump. That is the only reality of Donald Trump, and there has never been another reality of Donald Trump. What you just described there is a series of unfulfilled propositions that allow you to proceed on the notion that Trump is a successful businessman only as an article of faith. The idea that Trump is a successful businessman is like Tinkerbell's light. It's only there if you believe. So that's the problem. You cannot point to where Donald Trump was actually successful in business, because he never has been. He even failed as a casino owner. Casinos, which are such a license to print money, that was how the United States paid reparations to Native Americans. And he could not keep a casino in operation. Trump is a hilariously and hysterical failure of a businessman. That is all he ever has been, and at almost 80 years old, we can safely say that's all he ever will be in the realm of business. The idea that you could be so heinously naive is quite frankly flabbergasting to me. But that's reality. And no amount of accusations of Trump derangement syndrome, or, I don't know, calling people soy boys or beta cucks or whatever it is that you've latched onto to try to demoralize people, none of that is ever going to make it any kind, make Trump's business success come into any kind of objective, observable, identifiable reality. Because he has never been a successful businessman. He has only ever successfully cosplayed as one. And that would at least be forgivable. We could at least point to that and say that at least that is what he does successfully, except all of that, everything that he has ever made actual money off of, was only ever presented to us, the public, as a side hustle, a fun addition to his supposedly amazing lifestyle, or his supposedly amazing business acumen and business success, when in reality that's all it was. All it was him hustling a bunch of crappy products that he had licensed out the Trump name to use. That's it. You cannot point to Donald Trump, what has made Donald Trump actually successful, because it does not exist.